Hello and welcome back to Thomas's Moustache. Today we are going to be doing the full review, the final review of the Gatsby Dressing Pomade. This one here is the Ultimate Lock. Now I've been going through this particular tin for a fair time now, using it when I can, and I must say that my impression of it is quite different from my first impression. Now before I get into the details, how about we put some in our hair? Okay, now that we've got it applied, we can start talking. So, Gatsby Dressing Pomade Ultimate Lock. I've been using it for a fair time. It was the first pomade that I actually bought. And I bought it as a sort of way to practice using pomade before my Captain Fawcett pomade came, but that's another story. When I first started using it, I was rather, well, unlearned in my technique. The techniques I was using was rather basic, just simple, which luckily I had some gentlemen comment, and we had a good sort of interaction and talked about the pros and the cons and such of my particular style. But I did promise to both gentlemen who commented and to myself that I would continue to improve on my pomade styling. Now, this pomade here, a few good things about it is, number one, it is affordable. I believe this probably was, I don't want to actually, I might not be able to give you the real price because I forget. But I think it was around maybe 10 American dollars. I have no idea. Don't quote me on that. But it was affordable, very affordable. It is 80 grams or 2.8 ounces. And the color is, as you could see, a sort of very pale peach color, I would say. It is like jelly. It does not move or misshapen with heat. So that's one good thing. And, well, what else can I tell you? It is Ultimate Lock. This is strong, strong, strong. I apply it with damp hair. Usually I apply it with wet hair. But the wetter the hair, the longer it takes to lock, which is one interesting thing about it. But your hair will be thanking you if it is wet or at least damp, because this tugs. It is super, super sticky, I would say, in a sense. It really tugs on the hairs. If your hair is dry, I can't imagine what it would be like. But going in wet or damp, at least it is workable. In my first video, in which I was showcasing it, I was using this little blue comb with these little baby teeth. But this is not good enough. You need something with substance. You're going to need a comb that has a backbone for this one. And the teeth need to be capable, right? You don't want teeth that can easily bend because your hair is going to be quite the mess. Number one, of course, remember to brush your hair before. Make sure that all the knots are out because it's going to be interesting if your hair has knots in it. When you're applying it, you're going to be having that extra resistance. Now, what do I think about it? Well, I told you that my opinion is changed. When I first got this pomade, I thought, I don't really like it. And I'll be the first to admit it, that I didn't really like it. The smell isn't too bad. It's quite soapy, just a standard sort of soapy smell. But another thing is that I was only seeing the negative aspects of this. Now, I live in a very humid place, and I ride the motorcycle every day. I don't own a car, I only own a motorcycle. So that means that I have to wear a helmet all the time. And this, although the heat is not the most effective against it, when I'm wearing a motorcycle helmet, I've got that heat, that sweat mingling, and it loses strength, and then it deforms into the shape of helmet hair, which it doesn't necessarily look bad, but it definitely doesn't look good. Unless you're going with that slicked back look, right, a side parting, just a basic hairstyle. But if you are looking for something with volume, like a pompadour or what have you, and then you're putting your motorcycle helmet on, and then you're riding in the intense humid heat, it's not going to stay the same. I can tell you that right now. Another issue is, of course, when I remove the helmet, my hair is like a solid block. It's solid. You can't tell one hair from the other. It's just solid. It is my problem. It's what I'm doing. I'm doing it to my hair. I'm putting the helmet on. I'm riding in the intense humid heat. I'm sweating all over it. So it is my fault. Of course, I can't say that the pomade is bad. I bet all pomades would do that. Or they would have equally bad flaws in certain situations. So I was faulting the pomade for my experience. I was saying my experience is bad and therefore the pomade is bad. But recently I have been able to walk more. My technique is better. For pomade, not my walking technique. But I've been walking more. Instead of riding everywhere, I've been walking more. I've been enjoying the great outdoors more. And when I'm not wearing the helmet, I'll tell you, I get compliments because of this pomade. It's so amazingly strong, that when I'm walking, people are looking and thinking, wow, look at that do. Now you might be looking at me and saying, it's not that good. Your technique still has some improvement to have. And yes, I will continue to improve, but it does boost the confidence when people are admiring your do. And because this is so strong, I am able to just go the whole day. I can go the whole day, 12 hours plus, and not a hair will be out of place. Unless, of course, it dried out of place, which is one downside to having wet hair. I applied it today with damp hair. I let it dry a bit on its own before I applied it, and I'm expecting good results as usual. But if it's wet, it may come out of position as it is drying without you knowing it. Maybe you're bumping around the house or something. So either way though, it is good. So Gatsby Dressing Pomade, what would I say? Well, number one, wash your hands when you're finished applying it because you'll need to, of course, but it is good. It is a good product. This is the sort of product that I think you should always have. Always. If you have longer hair, which it should be coming down to about this height, or sorry, this length, that's a good length to really start to appreciate the power of this pomade. But you may have many pomades, different styles, different ingredients, right? Maybe you have clays, maybe you have matte, maybe you have just standard this sort of style, water-based, maybe you have oil-based. But this, as a strong, affordable pomade, I quite like it. I think that it has done just fine, and in fact it's done better than fine, because it's managed to make me reverse my opinion about it. So overall, I would say that this is a must-have, for me at least. Let's see, there we go. So that is today's final impression of the Gatsby pomade here, Dressing Pomade Ultimate Lock. I hope that you found it useful, and we'll see you again soon. Toodaloo.